Hello everyone, my name's Daria, and I'm the girl who cannot live without plastic surgery. My whole face has been redone so many times that my own mother would never recognize me, and I'm very happy about that. My story wouldn't be too consistent, but not because I feel sorry. I just want to keep the intrigue to the very end, so that you realize something while watching. So watch this video till the end. Yes, by the time I was 17, I'd already survived 15 plastic surgeries, and I started to get operated on at 16, with the full approval of my mother. She took me to the clinic, to her friend's doctor, and paid for everything from her own pocket. My mom is a very beautiful and bright woman. I think it wasn't important for her how I looked exactly, but she simply didn't know how to explain and talk about psychology, so she went the simple way. You must admit, it's easier to put a couple of $100 on a decent, beautiful nose or lips for your daughter than to talk about the fact that nature doesn't make mistakes. If you also think something can be fixed with your appearance, like this video, write in the comments how you feel about plastic surgery. And don't rush to condemn me. Watch the story to the end. The first time, honestly, it was scary, but I knew that the result would, in any case, be better than it was before. It simply couldn't be worse. And believe me, this is not a teenage girl's hang-ups. Kinda like nobody loves me because I'm not beautiful and have a pizza face. However, let's get to the point. Besides the fear of how everything would be, and it would hurt, there was also the fact that on the same day, 2 operations were waiting for me at once, on the nose and on the chin. They were intended to correct my shape. Yeah, can you understand? 2 operations at once. For the wholesale, they even gave us a discount. So here, they brought me to the ward. My mom was sent home, and they told her to return after 3 days. I lay there for a couple of hours, got nervous, until a nurse came for me. She even winked at me, and then I didn't have a chance to pickle. She gave me an injection, lower than the back, and I chopped off. To be exact, not quite. I don't know how to describe it, but I kinda saw and understood everything, but I didn't feel any emotions about it, at all. The doctor stood over me, bending over, with his instruments. I saw my blood on the bandages that the nurse was changing. A couple of times, I swear, I heard the sound of breaking cartilage or bones. But I lay there on the couch like a jelly, without pain, without emotions, and unable to move my limbs. Then I apparently got tired of watching, and I fell asleep. And that's it. I woke up in the ward, with a bandaged mask on the lower half of my face. Everything itched, but it was bearable, and I was much more interested in what he did. And also, how can I eat with such a nice device? The mask had a single hole in the area of the mouth, for breathing, or at most, water to drink. It turned out that for the next 3 weeks, I wouldn't get anything more. Water, juice, yogurt, mashed soup was all my food at this time, as it could only be liquid and fit into a tube. If you've ever broke your jaw, then yeah, you would understand me. 3 days later, my mom took me home, and a week later, the nose mask was removed. But they said I'd have to wait for the result because of the swelling and stuff. But I saw my nose. Neat, beautiful. Yes, it was like a plum with bruises, but it looked like a good nose. Really wonderful. I even cried in front of the mirror, and 2 weeks later, the mask was removed from the lower half of my face. True, by this time, my upper half was in bandages. I had to change the shape of my brow arches so that it would fit with the rest of the face. And I didn't have time to evaluate the result, because immediately after removing the bandages, I appeared on the operating table for the next procedure. Now, my lips have been completely redrawn. On my lips, the doctors needed 3 operations, and everything went extremely well. It was just a difficult case. And as for the cheekbones, my ears remained in front, and the longest operation was on my teeth. Yes, on my teeth. Precisely on the jaw and the place where the teeth were. 4 more operations, including replacing my dear stumps with a beautiful Hollywood smile. For about 6 months, I didn't see my face. I mean, I saw it, but in fragments that didn't allow me to understand what was really happening there. But those pieces that peeked out from under the bandages, I really liked. I already imagined how I would go to college, get to know all the guys, and be sure to meet a man who would love me forever. As a result of all the manipulations, when they gave me a mirror, I sobbed from happiness like crazy. A perfect face, smooth, soft skin, beautiful chiseled nose, full lips, cheekbones. Everything was so perfect, so heavenly. I was just in seventh heaven full of happiness when I saw it. Mom was also happy with me. All this time, she was very worried we wouldn't succeed, that at some point a failure would occur, and all my torments would be in vain. No, she didn't say anything to me, but I'm not blind. I saw how after each operation, she rushed to the doctors and asked. As a result, everything ended up as good as possible. I graduated from high school, entered college, and left home for the first time in my 16 years. At first, it was difficult because somehow I wasn't used to communicating with other people, especially my peers. But soon, I had the first friends, and then a boyfriend. And by my 17th birthday, the course of operations was over. The last 2 operations weren't on my face, so they didn't prevent me from living my usual life. Just adjusting the neckline and a little breast enlargement. This is purely for aesthetics. My boyfriend really liked it. Now, back to the very beginning of the story. I think you already guessed that all my operations weren't in order to surpass a woman cat or a man lizard. Well, those freaks who remade themselves like animals. Yes, my face really needed all this cosmetic nightmare. I was born with the defects, strong ones, and congenital. The doctor, when he saw what came out of the light of my mom, immediately suggested she leave me at the hospital. Like, you're so young, you can still give birth to more kids, and this one already has no chance. Mom was mentally resistant and not squeamish, and she didn't leave me. She said that modern cosmetology does wonders, and she had enough money to cure her only kid. Truth be told, Dad escaped after he saw me. To begin with, ever since my birth, I had a cleft lip. If you're not faint-hearted, Google it. But I warned you. And in the most terrible form. My nose was terribly crooked, hanging and reaching the bottom of my lip. My whole face was skewed due to such dubious modifications. And in addition to this, my ears were sticking out, and the skin on my face and up to my navel was all wrinkled like old people had. I was a beauty, yeah. Therefore, I went to people extremely rarely, and only because of great need. For example, to a hospital or to another hospital, and strictly with a mask on half of my face, so that kids didn't cry and that pregnant women didn't worry. I got used to the fact that I was a freak, but for some reason, I wasn't ready to scare other people. I studied, at home. Teachers came to me, and sometimes they practiced remotely, through video communication. Mom made sure I didn't dabble and didn't get distracted, because the lessons were very important to my future. I didn't understand how it could be important if I couldn't leave the house, but she always said I just needed to be patient a little, and I would become like that princess from a fairy tale, a real beauty. And there all the knowledge would come in handy. No, I liked studying. It was, in fact, the only thing that united me with other people from the outside world, located outside the walls of the house. And, when you constantly sit at home, any online games become terribly annoying. I wanted some kind of variety, and here they are. Lessons, yeah. Every time we went to the doctor, I asked the doctor when I would become beautiful, but the doctor said every time that I needed to wait a little longer. Grow up so that everything goes perfect and without any defects. So, until the age of 16, I lived like a real monster in the castle. I even had my own princess, my mom. By the way, I'm not lying about monsters. I already said that my mom is very beautiful, and therefore she always had a lot of gentlemen, and many offered her a hand, a heart, and a bank account in addition, but no one went through the monster. As soon as these men found out that my mom had a terrible daughter, then everyone disappeared in an unknown direction. I was sad, and my mom said that she didn't need those who couldn't accept me. I finished school fast, out of boredom, a couple of years earlier than I expected. Well, what else could I do? In addition, I knew for sure that after 16, I wouldn't have much time to study, and so that nothing would distract me, I paid attention to the textbooks. Yes, I was waiting for my 16th birthday as a real holiday, because the doctor appointed this date as a turning point, when it would be possible to begin to correct everything that nature gave me. And of course, despite all my fears, I ran to the clinic right under the surgeon's knife. And now, let's return to the present moment. I'm already 18, and I'm a beauty. Really beautiful, with a perfect appearance that doesn't scare kids or pregnant women. Everything I dreamed. And yes, I really feel better. I often spend time outside. I just love to walk in the rain and lie on the beach, in the gentle sun. So, I get what I didn't have in my childhood. My mom and I recently flew to Paris for Fashion Week, and there, one photographer invited me to act in commercials, saying that my face should adorn all the posters in the world. Of course, I refused. I have other plans for my life, but it was insanely pleasant. And I want to tell you the following. I don't call anyone for plastic surgery. This is a voluntary and often unjustified business. Well, that is, if everything is fine with you, why bother? But if you want to fix some kind of real defect, surgery is what can make you happy. Write in the comments if you have something that you want to correct in yourself. Share my story with others, especially with those who think their nose is not beautiful or their ears stick out. Let them see what real problems are, and be happy.